Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Students, welcome to our session of week 14 of Introduction to Databases. So today is the last session of this course, and this session is about practicing. It's about having some practice about writing SQL queries, and we have started different SQL clauses so far, and I want you to practice about them. So this session is planned accordingly. So first of all, I'll ask you some questions, and you'll write your queries in the text panel, and I'll see that how you can write. So, or you can share your desktop as well if you want. So the first question is, I'm typing my question in the text panel as well, and speaking it over the microphone as well. You have to write a query to create table of students having attributes. Let me tell you the attributes which you should have. ID, name, login, age, and city. So how would you write this query? So anyone please type in the text panel the query to create a table of students with attributes ID, name, login, age, and GP. So take your time. I'm giving you. You have to specify the attribute types as well, and remember the data types which are supported. Suppose the following data type, although we have several different data types. So you can open your slides as well side by side, that which of the data types are supported. I'm giving you 5 minutes for this. Think carefully, and think carefully that how you have to create this table and how you have to specify the attributes and primary key. Think carefully and then answer them. So take your time. You have 5 minutes for this. Okay, students. So have you got the answer? Yes, it can be like this. And it can be like this, like create table. Since we have to create table, so we use create table clause of students, student ID, which is a character of 9 length, then name, which is a variable character, then login, we have set as 8 character, it can be more as well, age, which is an integer, and GPA, which is of real type. So this is the command which is used to, this is the way to create this table. Now my next question is, in the same table, if we have to drop an attribute, what would be the command if you have to drop an attribute from the student table? Real means like we allow floating point values as well, like for example GPA is 3.17, 3.26, so it will allow. And if I say integer, it means it will allow only the values like age, it can be 20, 21, 22, it will be integer. Now for this, what you have to do is that you should understand about the data types, like whatever format you are using, whatever the SQL which you are following, or you are adopting in your while designing your database, you should know about the data type supported by that SQL. Now, what to do? Which command would you write when you have created a student table with ID, name, login, age, and GPA? It has 5 columns. Now, which SQL query would you write to drop an attribute login from the student table? Yes, you're right. Alter table will be used. Alter table command will be used, but the format is different. The alter table is right, but the next you have written login from student, so this is incorrect because we have to use the drop clause as well. So it's alter table. The correct answer is, let me tell you its answer as well. So the answer is alter table students, which table to order, and what to drop? Drop login. Alter table student, drop login. This answer is right. Now what you have to do, if we have to add an attribute font to the student table. Anyone else besides Fatma? Anyone would like to answer this question? It's decided I'll alter table student, add font, but besides font, we need to specify the data type of font as well. So the answer would be alter table students, add font, of character type, and I'm allowing 7 digits in that. So I'm treating it as character, so 7 characters in the phone number. Okay. So now, which command, which query would you write to populate student table with data? Suppose I want to populate it with the data. I suppose we have the same table which we have created previously, not with the altered one, and I want to populate this table with data, this like ID, name, login, age, and GPA. I want to have this ID 53688 as IT, mark as name, mark 2345 as login, 23 as age, and 3.9 as GPA. So I want this data to be entered in the table. Yes, you can do it. Like if you are keeping the quota for book same for student and faculty, and the faculty and students are treated in the same way, then you can make it as a person as well. So there is no harm in it. And one of the students have emailed me. I mean, I think either you have emailed me. Let me see about you asked me a question. Let me see. Alhamdulillah. Sorry. So one of the students emailed me that what does it mean by populating the tables with 5 values. Populating the table with 5 values means we have to enter sample data for 5 students in the table, in the database you are creating in your project, so that I can write queries using that data. No, the insert into student, extra please write complete one. So you have to, you are right in one way that insert clause will be used. But the way is different. Fatma, I don't get your question, what you want to ask. That I mean the information that you write. No, No, there is a format for this. Now, let me tell you its correct answer. There is a format for this. The correct answer is, when you have to insert this data in the student table, you would write it in this way. Insert into students values. You will use the values word, and then you will write them in this way, in a sequence in which you have to write. So this is the correct format. Clear? Okay, now my next question is, which query would you write to find the average age of all students? Please girls, please participate. I want all of you to participate. Warif, Wafa, Sara, Saidi, Nora, Mona, Munira, Khulud, Hind, everyone, please participate. Hala, Hanan, Iman, Aida, Arwa, everybody. Please try to write. Do your effort. Even if you write incorrectly, I won't mind. But just give it a try, because this is important. You'll get similar type of questions in your final exam. And if you don't know, just open the slides from which in which these things are mentioned. You have to find average age of all students. So first of all, since you have to find the average age, it means you have to select to which column to select for select age, and you want to display what? You want to display average age. So its answer is very simple. The answer is, I'm just going to write, select average of age from students. So is it clear now? Okay, now my next question is, list the students in ascending alphabetical order of name. Now, first of all, to see, whenever you have to list the students, it means you have to display data of all students. So it means you have to use the select clause. And what you have to display all attributes of students. So you will write select static. Okay, and you have to select from. So it means you have to select from student. No, I'm talking about, I want to answer in SQL query. Which SQL query you would write to list the students in ascending or alphabetical order of name? the first thing would you write is select static, because you have to select to display all the details about student. Okay, now from which table you are going to select, you'll write from students, and then you want to order it. So for sorting, you use order by clause, and you want to order by what? I want to order by name. So you'll write it. So your complete query will be select static from students and order by name. No, if you write order by name, by default it is ascending. But if you have to write it in descending order, then you write the word order by name and add DESC. So for descending, you write this. Okay, now my next question is, find the names of students with GPA equal to 4 and group people with the like ages together. So which query would you write for this? First of all, see that you have to find the names of students. So it means you have to select, you have to write a select statement with what name, because you want just name from students, and which students having GPA equal to 4, and you have to group them. So you have to use group by clause as well. So first you decide that which clauses you will be using, and then you write it. So please answer this question. Anybody want to answer this question? Please try. Please try. Select name from students where GPA equal to 4. You can complete, because you have to group people with like ages. So it's very simple. You have almost completed. So this is the answer. And remember, you write SQL clauses in capital letters. You write select from where in capital letters. Select name from students where GPA equal to 4 and group by name. Yes, it's quite easy. Now if I add another condition with it, like find the name of students with GPA equal to 4, group by, and show only those groups that have more than 2 students in it. because you group by name, so it is grouped by name. So GPA equal to 4 and it is grouped by, so it means the names are grouped. See, so this is the order of execution in your SQL statements, that if you have a SQL query in which you have used all of these clauses, then first of all from clause is executed, then where, then group by, then having, and in the last select clause is executed. So when you have used where clause, so first of all the GPA equal to 4 is checked, and then group by is checked. And if you are using having, then if you check, otherwise not. So the question I just asked, the answer to that question is it was static, sorry. This static is converted into star, so this was the answer. Having, you cannot say having greater than 2, you will count them. Having count from all is greater than 2. So this is the answer. Yes, if you'll practice about writing simpler queries, and you can write complex queries as well. And remember, you can create views as well. From your database, you can create views as well. View is a temporary relation which do not exist physically, but it can be created just like normal relation for temporarily. For example, you can create view of good students. You create a view is a relation, a temporary relation. You can create view of good students with ID and name as, so you have written a query with ID and name from student to DB. So you are picking out students with GPA equal to 4 from the student table and keeping only the information there, only two information, ID and name of those students, and you are calling that relation as good students. It means you have a table of good students with having the ID and name of students, only those students having 4 GPA. Or you can create a table with greater than 3.5 GPA, or you can create view with a particular name, or you can create view with of students having name started with a particular letter, or like this. Okay, now let me ask you some other question as well. Okay, can you write the query to find Find maximum CGPA from student table. Oh, GPA, sorry. I wrote GPA. Find maximum GPA from students. You don't have to place direct with GPA. You can use max function only. Select max GPA from students. So this direct is not required. Select max GPA from students. That would be correct. Now, which query will you write to identify that which students have the highest GPA? This time is short, so I'm going to tell you answer. Select direct from students where GPA is greater than or equal to all, and all of what? Select GPA from students. So it means from all the students, the GPAs of all the students, if they are less than or equal to GPA, so those students will be selected, having GPA greater than other students. Now, if I ask you to write a query to find number of students under 18 and their average GPA. This is the answer. Select count. Now see this count static actually counts the number of rows. Count, because see, we had to tell the number of students, so it means how many students are under 18, and we have to tell their average GPA. So we have to display only the average GPA of students who are under 18, and we have to show the number of students who are under 18. So that's why we are not going to use the select name clause, because we don't have to display their names. We have to tell the number of figures count of the numbers, like how many students are under 18 and what is the average GPA of those students who are under 18. So that's why I used count static. So count static will count the number of rows in the resultant table, and we have to display average GPA. So average GPA will be selected, but from where? As I told, the select clause is executed at the last. First from clause is executed and then where. So first of all your table will be picked, and then from that table you'll see that how many students has age less than 18. So the only those students will be picked having age less than 18. So you have a table, a temporary table with the name of students, complete table having the name of students with age less than 18. From those, you will be counting the number of rows in that table, which will give you the total count. And then when you calculate the average of the column GPA, it will give you the average GPA. So this is the answer. So count is basically counting the number of the rows in the table, which is so remember, as I told you that the order of execution, I just posted it previously. Let me post it again. In SQL statement, I hope it is copied now. So the order of execution is this. First from clause is executed, then where, then group by, then having, then select. So select is executed at the last. So when we said from, so from table was read, using the where, only those rows were identified having age less than 18 attribute. From that you had a table, and that from that you calculated that you counted the number of rows, and then you calculated the average GP. So that's why this is the answer. So remember, whenever you get a question, you first have to identify that which things you have to give. Fatma, because I'm not going to design your question paper because I'm one of the instructor of this course. There are many instructors teaching at this course in different campuses of SEU. So since all of you are studying from the same material, so the question paper will be unified for all campuses. What you have to do is you have to practice a lot about writing SQL queries. As I told you that this is a very important topic we have studied after midterm exams. So I expect that like this is only 1 hour we have spent on this activity. I expect that you spent at least 6 hours, like or at least 4 to 5 hours daily on writing SQL queries. You are doing good, and all the other people should also participate. See, as much as you practice, the more comfortable, the more convenient you'll be feeling in writing SQL queries, and you can't do it if you don't practice. So practice writing these queries is very important. So if you are spending 4 to 5 hours daily in writing these queries, then the results will be good.